What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and yesterday, President Joe Biden signed into law the omnibus spending bill. This is going to be providing additional funds to Ukraine and also more government funding, and this is good news for those of you that are interested in more stimulus and stimulus checks. I'm going to be explaining to you everything in today's video. This is your breaking news, Build Back Better, stimulus package, and stimulus check update. Now, take a look, you guys. Articles coming out like this. Biden signs a massive spending bill into law that dedicates billions to Ukrainian aid. But as I mentioned to you, that's not all that's included in this bill. Now, one of the things that's not included, but is now going to become the primary focus, is more additional stimulus funds to help combat the pandemic and also to help us out with the increased gas prices. And for those of you that have been following me here on the channel, I've been keeping you up to date, and the past couple days, man, we have been hearing tons of talks about more stimulus phases, more specifically stimulus checks, as they're saying we need something to combat these increased gas prices. There's already been released from lawmakers plans for quarterly checks. Economists are coming out and saying we need monthly checks. And yes, these are federal level stimulus checks that they're talking about putting back on the table. And the talks about this are increasing. And I'm expecting this is going to be ramping up a whole lot more, especially as we get closer to those midterm elections coming up in November. So you guys, the possibility is increasing and increasing of more checks. Now, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as to what he signed, what's included, and the path forward on stimulus. Also, wanted to mention the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. You're interested in growing wealth and learning about personal finance, going to be releasing more content on there, and also sharing with you the process of our latest flip project. Here in Houston, Texas, flipping another house. I'm going to share with you all the steps we go through if you're interested. Check it out. Just tons of fun and investing in real estate. But now let's dive into the latest on economic news and what's unfolding, what was signed, and the path forward with stimulus. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate these updates, take a quick moment to smash that like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Just helps with the algorithm. Also, leave your comments. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. That is by far the best way to get a hold of me directly. Here on YouTube, there's a lot of comments, and sometimes scammers pretend to be me. They take my picture and they tell you to contact them on WhatsApp. You guys, that's not me. If you want to contact me directly, do it on Instagram. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in, get you caught up on the latest as to what was signed in the path forward with stimulus. All right, so link in the description below to this article that just came out yesterday that says Biden signs a massive spending bill into law that dedicates billions to Ukrainian aid. And there you can see him signing it in the signing ceremony, along with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Vice President Kamala Harris, Joe Manchin, Jim Clyburn, and members of Congress all standing around for the signing. Now, the article says that President Joe Biden on Tuesday, yesterday, he signed a massive spending bill into law that included $13.6 billion in new aid to Ukraine, saying during the signing ceremony that the new assistance shows that the United States is moving urgently to further augment the support to the brave people of Ukraine as they defend their country. And he said, "Today we are again showing the American people that as a country, we can come together as Democrats and Republicans and independents and do big things, that our democracy can deliver and outperform autocracies, and that there's nothing that we can't do when we do it together as the United States of America," Biden told the audience of lawmakers. Now, the Russia's invasion, Biden said, has united the people all across America, united our two parties in Congress, and united the freedom-loving world to act with urgency and resolve that we're doing right now, that you provided me the ability to do. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will deliver a speech to Congress on Wednesday today. He's going to be delivering a speech where he is likely to renew his calls for steps like a no-fly zone and request help acquiring fighter jets, steps that Biden had previously rejected. And later Wednesday today, Biden is expected to detail the U.S. assistance to Ukraine in new remarks. So that is going to be unfolding today. Now, the Senate passed this spending bill, known as the omnibus, late on Thursday on a bipartisan vote of 68 to 31. And this was a pretty quick effort. If you recall, the House, they passed it Wednesday night in the middle of the night, went on to the Senate. They passed it Thursday night, got this all done to the president. So that way we would not have a government shutdown and we could provide that additional Ukrainian aid. And after having passed 3 previous stopgap funding bills to keep the government running in the meantime, now this omnibus will be providing funding through the fiscal year of 2022, which started back in October. So they couldn't come to an agreement. They had to keep doing continuing resolutions, stopgap bills to keep the government funded. Finally, they've got an official bill. We're funded and we are set. Now, this included Ukrainian aid and government funding, but listen to this, you guys, jumping down. The omnibus bill does not include additional pandemic response related funding. One of the things that they wanted to include in there was more funding to help combat the pandemic and provide additional stimulus spending. However, they were trying to repurpose existing funds from the American Rescue Plan. Those of you that follow me here on the channel already know, in the American Rescue Plan, the last stimulus package that was passed in March of 2021, there was $350 billion allocated to go out to states, counties, and cities to provide to their local residents. And in many cases, they've been passing stimulus packages and also stimulus checks. Well, a lot of people here on the channel let me know I have not seen anything from my state, county, or city. What we're hearing is a lot of them didn't get the money. They haven't used it, haven't allocated it, didn't even receive it. And all those leftover funds that are still sitting there, apparently lawmakers saw it sitting there and said, hey, they didn't use it. Let's take it and put it into this bill and provide more stimulus funding. However, we're hearing that those localities came out and said, no, we never got our money. That's supposed to be ours. We're not going to let you take it, and we're not going to let you use it in this new bill because we have not gotten our share of additional stimulus funds from that $350 billion in the American Rescue Plan. So that got cut out. They passed it as it is, and it has now gone through. Now, what does that mean for stimulus? Well, that means, as you saw, they tried to pass more stimulus assistance, more funding, but it was not included in this bill. Now, it is very likely, especially with the increased gas prices, lawmakers in Congress are also going to be turning their attention to providing this additional stimulus. Now, we will see if they're going to be passing this through the process of reconciliation. There's going to need to be some form of agreement between Democrats to get this through reconciliation, which means moderates like Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, they're going to have to be on board. Now, one of the reasons why they're saying they would have been on board for that was because it was not going to be adding to debt. They were reallocating existing funds that had not been spent. Also, currently lawmakers have released a new bill proposing that we tax oil companies, and that tax we then distribute in the form of stimulus checks would also not add to the debt. So they're trying to come up with creative ways to provide direct assistance and payments to people without adding to the deficit. Now, if they can do that, it's going to become very more so likely that we could see more stimulus checks. However, if they have to issue out new funds, that's going to be really hard for those moderate centrist Democrats to get on board, and especially Republicans who are very concerned with the debt. They're not on board, and that is why through the traditional means, needing 60 votes in the Senate, we have not seen any new stimulus packages or provisions that are supported by Republicans. And we're hearing that if they can't do it through traditional means, they can't do it through reconciliation with Democratic unity. Well, then we're also hearing progressives calling upon Biden to pass this through executive order. And we just heard from Pramila Jayapal, head of the Progressive Caucus in the House of Representatives, that she said they're actually right now assembling a list of executive orders and actions they'd like to see the president pass. They're going to be handing it off to him, seeing what he does. Now, in addition to that, we're also looking to Joe Manchin and members of Congress to pass last year's stimulus reconciliation bill, the Build Back Better bill. They're revising and revamping that. We're going to be seeing what they agree upon and what they're going to pass through. And that is now becoming the focus of Congress. So all of this stimulus packages, stimulus checks, is starting to ramp up and become the primary focus. It's going to get pushed to the forefront. We're likely going to be hearing a whole lot more about that, along with the war in Russia and Ukraine. And you guys, as you know, I'll keep you up to date here on the channel. And you guys, that is the latest. President Joe Biden signed into law the omnibus bill, and we're going to be hearing a whole lot more about stimulus. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance, and follow my latest flip project. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.